All right, Greenleaf fans. Oh boy, this episode review a little bit late. I did watch the episode, Friday morning at 4 a.m. A lot of notes, man. I tell you, this page is full. I have notes all through the page, all from top to bottom and on the sides. But did I lose you? Off the bat, I actually enjoyed this episode more than last week's episode. And last week's episode wasn't bad. I think I gave it like what, a 7 or a 7.5 out of 10. Again, not because it was bad, but I'm like, okay, it gets me into the show. But this week, 8.5 out of 10. I think it was a solid episode. We had some great dialogue as well as setup for what's to come. And Lord, I'm going to try to read this chicken scratch, so bear with me. So basically, the episode starts off with Charity apologizing to Grace for her behavior and basically asking, hey, can I be music minister again? And Grace is like, I'll just talk to Phil. No promises, though. And Charity's all calm. But as soon as the door closed, she basically sides eyed her sister, giving her the So we know that Charity still plans on betraying the family. Then we have Carissa looking at some houses online. And it looks like, that Sophia, Zora, and Lady May are about to go out on a day on the town, have a nice brunch and I believe go clothes shopping for Sophia before she goes off to school. But Grace can't miss a meeting that she has with Phil later or around the same time that the girls were about to head out. And then we have, Bishop singing and on a piano. Charity comes down and she sings as well. And it looks like, Bishop pretty much, gave her a vote of confidence saying that, hey, you're the heart of this family and God has a plan for you, even though you might not see it. And the way I kind of relate to that scene, it reminds me of Joseph in the Coat of Dreams. Was that it? The DreamWorks movie, not the Prince of Egypt, but the one about Joseph in the Coat of Many Colors, where I remember about that film as well as the Bible story where Joseph's brothers were jealous not only of the favor that Joseph father. Wait a minute. Okay, it was Isaac and then Jacob and Esau. Ooh. Was Jacob the father? Yeah, Isaac, Jacob. Oh yeah, wasn't Jacob? Yeah. Jacob had 12 sons, I believe. Benjamin was the youngest. Jacob was the father of Joseph. Okay, it's been a while, but basically, they were jealous not only of Joseph's special treatment, but also the fact that Joseph was having these dreams of greatness where his brothers would bow down to him, and they felt like, especially the oldest brothers, like, hey, we were the ones who were supposed to be, the first in line for anything that was, owned by our father. So it looks like Charity is pretty much, trying to blackball her own siblings in order to make her way to the top, which is a point I'll get to later in this episode review. So we have, Bishop's words actually hitting Charity in the heart. And he does mention that, oh, I need to talk with a travel agent to get a couple of tickets to Paris for a honeymoon. And then Cherry's like, oh, you and mom are getting back together? Well, it depends on your mother. All right. So, and I'm like, okay, Keith David, you got a nice voice, man. You can sing. You can sing. All right. So then we have Bob's daughter who wants to meet with Grace and Jacob later on. Noah is waiting on Grace to come into the meeting in her office, but he's upset that not only did Grace not tell him about the secret son, but just the fact that, okay, what's going on? It's just a secret in general, and it's like one of those things where you just dropped a huge bomb on me. But then Grace goes, and Grace is saying, I actually like Grace. It's just one of those situations where I don't even know if she's able to convince herself of what she's trying to convince others. Like the whole thing about, look, I was about to leave home. If I'm not mistaken, she said I was 18. I was 18. I was about to leave home. My parents, I had just told them about my lack of faith in God. And I went to a clinic, but I couldn't have the abortion. I just couldn't go through with it. And then when I had the baby, I just looked at him and he was so beautiful. I was 18 and then, excuse me. No, I don't think she said I was about to leave home. When AJ turned 18, when she was in Phoenix, he was able to look up information via the adoption agency and find out who Grace was. And, Sophia was 12 years old and her dad wanted to find any way any way to make it so Sophia would turn against me and then go to him. So basically, AJ is going to get released from prison tomorrow, and Grace just wants to make things right, but not at the cost of everything that's riding on, her keeping a good image, trying to get the church back from harmony and hope. And not only that, if Isabel found out that Noah had a son with Grace, then that would end his marriage as well. But I have no doubt that Noah will meet AJ at some point in the future. Then we have a brief scene between Noah and Jacob. Just briefly catching up, just talking about the fact, hey, we're both going through wife issues, but hey, I can't stop by and talk to your folks, and don't tell them I said hey, because I don't want to sound rude like I couldn't stop by, but I really got to get back. And then we have Sophia clothes shopping, and this is probably the funniest part to me, the fact that May gets from Connie, I believe it's from a day with Lady May, all the charges totaled $38,243.16. The devil is a lie. Throws the phone and breaks the window. If I ain't lying when I tell you that reminds me of when I got my first bill from student loans. Like, what the So yeah, I can definitely relate with that. Then we have Jacob and Phil talking about Blue Lake. Is that's the summer camp they have every summer for the kids. But the thing is, harmony and hope is about diversity, while Jacob is like, well, this is a chance during the year where these young men are able to, or just young people in general. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, isn't it a camp for both males and black males and females? But in any case, it's just a time for them to get ingrained with their own culture, as opposed to just being forced with diversity everywhere they go. And honestly, that I can get where harmony and hope is coming from in regards to worshiping and fellowship with all people of all, colors and whatnot. But diversity, we just live in it. And I don't want to, well, ironically enough, I don't want to use this video about Greenleaf to preach, but we just live in a day and time where it's not just a matter of diversity, but it's just like confusion, because every time you turn around, there's always a different label for this specific group of people or this specific sexuality. So yeah, sometimes it's good just to be around your own folks and to just reassure yourself and be rooted in your own beliefs and culture, because we live in a day and age where you cannot go online, you cannot turn on the TV without some sort of movement going on. And in terms of diversity, there seems to be more agendas than diversity going on here. So I think Jacob is right when it comes to Blue Lake being something that the church keeps. But aside from the diversity angle, Phil just seems more concerned with the financial standpoint about Blue Lake being more expensive than the Harmony and Hope foundations when it comes to summer camps. But let's see. Yeah, there's no love lost between Jacob and Phil. Easy to see there. But following up from Lady May's rage, she arrives home, and it's just, I feel bad for Bishop. He's waiting on the steps. He has the tickets. He's about to surprise his wife, but she comes in. Oh, man, I just love this scene. I just felt bad for Bishop, though. So basically, Bishop goes in to see what's going on, but May tells him about the fact that Connie is abusing her power, sending her the invoice from everything from the day with Lady May. And again, we're talking about over $38,000. So then Bishop has the tickets like, oh no, this is just the invoice from the exterminator. And man, I felt bad for him. I felt bad. So then we have Jacob and Grace talking about the whole situation with Phil. Grace says, I'm going to come out of pocket and pay for it myself. Jacob's like, hey, Noah came by and he was a bit, weird. And it's like, oh, we're just talking, nothing major there. And as soon as Jacob leaves, she gets a phone. She goes on. She makes a call to set up a phone account for AJ. Carissa's looking at some houses. That's kind of like the underlining theme of the episode. And let's see. She basically doesn't have the funds. What was it? That woman was like, the house would go from like, the high 300,000s to the low 400,000s. And Dante's meeting with Jacob, going for a ride in the car. His buddy doesn't really care that Jacob's the pastor, but they're playing a game in regards to playing basketball with a football. I think I did that in school once. It was actually pretty interesting. But he tried to pay off Jacob with 10 grand in cash in regards to, hey, I mean, sometimes we all got to unwind, blow off some steam. So whenever you see me spending some bands, basically blowing money and doing stupid stuff, don't report it. And then, there's money. And Jacob's like, no, 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 no. It ain't about that. I want to make sure you stay on the straight and narrow path. Dante says it was just a test. And I just wanted to see if you were really as holy as my mother said you were. Then we have Phil and Charity talking. And she's having second thoughts about betraying her family based on what Bishop told her about her being the heart of the family. But, Phil pretty much, does some sweet talking, whining and dining her, complimenting her and flirting. And it seems like Charity is pretty much, eating up everything he says and does. Then we have Phil and Grace crossing swords about, who works for who. And Phil allows Charity to come back as the music minister. But, before that, he was confronting her about, the whole Blue Lake summer camp situation. But it's no big deal because even though the bills and expenses could run up to about $100,000, Grace is going to pay for it out of pocket. But then if there's anything left over, Harmony and Hope will take over from there in terms of paying for it. Then we have Sophia and Zora. Zora's trying to convince Sophia to stay with her. Well, actually, no. Sophia's like, no. You know what? I'll skip summer semester. I'll get a refund for the classes and stay here. But then Zora's like, okay, well, you gotta stay in this house and also this cabin with me. But at the same time, we gotta go to Bible study. But it's like, no. I'll wake you up and you go to Bible study. So then we have Bishop and Karina outside the church, and it looks like he's got some dirt on Connie, and he's going to use that as blackmail. But hey. You know what? I can get in big trouble, if anybody finds out. It's like, well, don't tell my wife about this and we'll keep this on the down low. This show doesn't feel like church, which begs the question, why did you meet in the church parking lot? Why not meet somewhere else at a random? I don't know. It was a funny scene, though. Then we have Grace and Sophia talking. Grace is telling, off screen during the commercial break, Grace told Sophia about AJ. Sophia is, upset. Not only that, hey, I understand the whole situation about you having a son, but, I'm just disappointed the fact that it's not about the money. It's about AJ needing his mom. And it's just a fact on top of that she feels like Grace is a hypocrite. And really, Grace is doing to Sophia what May was doing to Grace in the previous episode. It's like the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. And let's see here. Okay, now we get to the top of the page where my notes are a bit more harder to read. We have, here's where Bishop shows May the information about Connie that H&H has been paying her off, but May doesn't want to take back the church that way. And this is one of my favorite scenes of the episode. It really does show that Lady May is like, it's about God's will as opposed to making these power moves and blackmailing people and doing shady things. We need to win back the hearts and mind of the people, because if we don't, we're doing no better than the people we're trying to get the church back from. And that actually makes a lot of sense. And then we have Carissa house shopping and talking with Jacob, and the fact that, what about that land across from Calvary? If we get that valued and sell it, we can make a fresh start. But then Jacob's like, hey, give me a week to think about it, because I have to talk with Dante. I just feel like we could use that land for something to help other kids like him. But if you can give me a week, we can talk with your friend to get it valued. But then later in the episode, we see that Carissa is doing what she wants via email to get a value on it anyway. So that's going to cause controversy in itself. We see Bishop, looking at the Paris tickets, but after recounting everything that's going on and how May, confronted him about his shady ways, he just throws the tickets in the dresser next to the bed, and that's it. We know Sophia leaves, and she'll pick up her dad from the airport to carry her all the way to Hampton to college. So really, ironically enough, based off what Grace was telling Noah, the fact that, she never brought up AJ because that would push Sophia to her father, it seems like that's exactly what happened there. Then we have Jacob praying, and he's looking for direction. We have Darlene and Charity talking, and she brings up Noah because Charity is about to get some dirt. But then Lady May comes in, goes for a walk with Karina, pretty much tells her about the whole situation with, the Connie information that was given to Bishop, and the fact that, hey, we want to get the church back, but not that way. But hey, here is the money to pay for the day with Lady May in full, $38,243.16. And, that's pretty much the end of the episode, aside from Grace watching a sermon from Harmony and Hope. AJ calls, and pretty much talks about how everything is set up for him to be in a halfway house, but he needs something more permanent, and Grace wants to help. And that's the end of the episode. So overall, yeah, this is a pretty solid episode, 8.5 out of 10. I think it did a good job of setting things up. And like I said, the dialogue that Lady May had with Karina as well as Bishop in regards of how the right way to get the church back, that was really good. So was Jacob talking with Dante about, when I was younger, I was running up the bill, not, thinking about the day the check would eventually come. That is very true. I like that line. And yeah, we just had some good scenes with various characters. So overall, I was impressed. And again, I'm enjoying the ride so far. It's 2 episodes into me reviewing the show, and I really like it. So let me know what you thought of Greenleaf Season 4, Episode 2, Did I Lose You? If you're new to the channel, I hope you take a moment to hit that subscribe button. And of course, the name of the channel is the Haves and the Have-Nots Review. So just so you know, besides the Haves and the Have-Nots, I review Greenleaf, just started now, of course. I reviewed Ambitions when it was on not too long ago. If Loving You Was Wrong, Lord knows when that show is coming back in 2020. And next month, I'll be reviewing The Oval and Sisters, Tyler Perry's new shows when they come out on BET. So once again, thanks so much for tuning in, and I'll talk to you in the next video. Congratulations on making it to the end of this video. If you like what you just saw, make sure to hit the thumbs up button, or if you have anything you would like to add to the video, make sure to leave your thoughts in the comment section below. If you want to keep up with me on social media, go to the description box. All of my links for social media are right there. Also, if you feel like you would like to donate to the channel, make sure to click on the link to PayPal. Any amount helps, $1, $5, $20. As a full-time YouTuber, any support from my fans really does mean a lot to me. Finally, make sure to hit the subscribe button as well as the bell notification icon. That way you're kept up to date on any new content I post to the channel. Once again, thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll talk to you in the next video.